My name is Bengt-Erik Löfgren, and I would like to thank you all for having the opportunity to speak in your conference. I've been in this business for more than 35 years since I starting up my company, ÄFAB, as a consulting company. I would like to tell a Swedish story, and I would like to say that we start with a little background. Sweden is in many times just as Canada, but we have only 1/3 of the population of Canada. But we have also 85% of our population are living inside the urban areas. We have no own sources of oil, gas, or coal, as you have in Canada. So we have to import or the fossil energy. We have a quite similar climate and industry. Our industry is depending on forestry, and mines, in car and telecom, and so on. And we have good asset to biomass and cheap electricity production. And we have lots of wilderness and lots of ecotourism, which are a growing part. So let's have a very short background. It seems to be not so smart to have every eggs in the same basket as we had in Sweden. If we go back to 1880s, the oil price was extremely low, and the combustion techniques for oil was trustable and simple to install. And that means that Sweden became completely dependent on imported oil. Then in the 70s, the oil prices rapidly increased. We can say 10 times double up in the period of a decade. Our high consumption of oil, of course, affected the whole economy dramatic way. And bleeding economy forced our politicians to take action. More nuclear power, more biomass as well. The next step was to include the carbon tax, just to increase the price of all kind of fossil energy. And we implemented that already in 1991, and then increased the level. And today we have approximately a tax about 120 euro per ton. And that is 4 times higher than any other country have. And double up the price of emissions that we have in the cap and trade system we have in Europe. To increase the price of fossil energy, instead of giving grants directly to renewable energy, become a success. Because that give all renewable energy a possibility to compete on equal terms. And that develop the whole renewable industry. And all kind of fossil energy become much more expensive. So the results, if we go back today, is that we in Sweden have today 55% of the total use, including lighting, transport sector, and so on, are coming from renewable sources, such as geothermal energy, wind power, solar power, and of course, biomass. And biomass alone is covering 1/3 of the total use of energy in Sweden. 37.4% are coming from biomass. And that is, of course, the driving force for the carbon neutrality that we are aim in Sweden. But cut trees and to cut carbon footprint, is that the right way? We have lots of discussions all over the world about this. And I had to say, and as hard as I can, biofuels in any form can never emit more carbon dioxide than the trees already have taken from the atmosphere during their grown up. So sustainable forestry, of course, is necessary, has to be in the terms of increased growth. That means thinnings and so on, and active forestry. to replace steel and concretes in building is the same as locking up carbon for many years in the building constructions. And the residues, when you make timber, we can produce clean energy and replace fossil heating. That could be as wood chips or wood pellets or something, also in wood logs in private homes. Bioenergy creates, of course, job and welfare, and it's a local and safe energy carrier. So the discussions of cutting forest, that is another discussion of biodiversity and so on. But for covering the climate effect, we need to have biomass. Another driving force is district heating. District heating can be done with any kind of energy carrier. But as soon as you dig down the pipes in the ground, you have lots of possibilities. You can implement a plant, running it by heat pumps, with oil boilers, with gas boilers, or you can also take care of what shall I say, recovery energy, lost energy from data halls, from industry and so on. At the same time you implement the district heating system, you got a smoother power output. You can spread it out and have less of peaks. We have, of course, reduced emissions with one large central boiler instead of many small boilers. That is also cost effective, and it's a comfortable and secure heating. And it's also possible to produce CHP, also produce electricity in the same time that we produce heat. To start with, biomass are in Sweden 100% residues from forest industry. We don't cut any trees just for burning. We use the trees for making timber or whatever it is, and then we take the residues, the sawmills and the sawdust and the wood chips and so on for energy. But the main thing is, the first thing is to see if we can save energy and recycling already produced energy. That is rule number one. But then, if we had to make new energy, take care of new energy, biomass in Sweden are 100% coming from forest industry. And you see all these red dots here. That is district heating plants in the society, in the municipalities in Sweden. And Sweden has lots of expertise, both in build and run different types of plants for different types of biofuels. Both within district heating and local heating market, our knowledge and business among our world top ranking. Electrical production is, of course, also a possibility, and we can also see that globally, biomass provides more energy than all other renewable energy sources together. And you in Canada, as well in Sweden, have lots of biomass to take care of. Let's see how it could be done. A large CHP facilities are, for example, Stockholm Exergi. Stockholm is the capital of Sweden, and you have a grid here. You can see the grid in the picture here, and the grid is connected with 10 operated units of district heating plants, but the grid in total are 3,000 kilometers wide. 95% of all buildings in Stockholm, all over 800,000 citizens, get their heat from the district heating plant. It is mainly used of biomass and waste, who are the energy carrier for this, but also taking care of sewage water with heat pumps and covering up with other energy sources as are possible. Stockholm Energy provides 700 full-time enterprise. They have also starting up bio-CCS. Bio-CCS is carbon capture and storage. They suck up carbon dioxide from the chimneys and dig it down in the ground again. And the full capacity of that could save about 800,000 tons annually of greenhouse gases. And we have also starting up with to build biochar in a plant that produce biochar together with heat for more than 4,500 homes. Stockholm is not alone with produce CHP plants. We have more than 200 CHP plants in Sweden today. And there are more than 30 under construction right now. And biopower from CHP have a really good possibility to make a balance with wind and solar energy. And the production are as highest when the demand of heat are the biggest, the largest. In Sweden, we produce approximately 12% of all use of energy are coming from CHP with biopower. Biomass and other renewables are, of course, almost carbon neutral. That's true. But it is good enough. We have an ongoing climate change. And I mentioned biochar. Biochar to take the gasification of biomass and use the gas for heating and the biochar as a fertilizer. In this way, we can trap carbons who are taken from the atmosphere when let's say it could be farmer ground, it could be residues from forestry. We can trap it back to carbon. And in this place, it's stable coal, and you can dig it down in the ground as a fertilizer. I know that you in Sweden, that you in Canada also have companies producing biochar. You have the Arex company. I can see in the program that they're following up with the speech from Arex. I would like to tell you that they are also cooperation with Swedish companies in the biochar business. We have also in Sweden a number of plants who are smaller, who are in a size that an agriculture can have it installed in his place. This biochar boiler is installed by Edmund Hamilton in Hjelmsäter in Sweden. It's, as he said, produce both heat for the buildings and biochar for the fertilizer. As Edward say, the heat comes out and warming up my houses, and the coal comes out in the sack. So I'm very proud to announce our Swedish success story. We have in Europe a goal that we in 2020 should have reached 50% in Sweden of renewable energy. In European Union in total, it should be 20%. We have already 55% renewable in our energy balance. And also, we have a very high level when we come to transport sector. We have, together with Finland, more than 20% of all fossil use of biodiesel or diesel or petrol are coming from biomaterial. That is normally today biodiesel, biomethane, or ethanol, bioethanol. Not yet so much electricity, but of course the electrified car are coming very rapidly in Sweden as well. So, my final conclusion. We have in Sweden probably made the most of all mistakes that can be done. But we maybe not can tell you how to do it, but I'm sure that we can tell you what not to do. We have done the mistakes and we are glad if we can help you, and let's do it together. We can prove that it is possible to make a difference. Thank you very much.